And now we pitch it over to DeJuan with the latest in sports, including how opening weekend went for the CSUN baseball team.
The Matador baseball team opened the season last weekend with a 3-game series against Pepperdine. CSUN went on to lose the game 4-3 on Friday. Valley View's Erica Gutierrez reports on Saturday's game at Matador Field.
CSUN sophomore Ryan Pineda stole second and then scored the first run of the game in the second inning on a single by Chris Hannett. Pineda is one of the team's top returning veterans and says the team has worked hard to prepare for this game.
Our first 2 games we haven't made an error, so all the work we've been doing then is paying off.
The Matadors scored again in the 3rd inning when Pepperdine pitcher Scott Alexander walked 2 batters and threw a wild pitch. The Matadors added 3 runs in the 5th inning. John Parham, Jeff Pruitt, and Richard Cates all scored. Cates is a senior and the team captain. He says there was a big difference between this year's team and the past Matador teams.
3 years ago we had a lot of guys, and a lot of guys who just played for themselves, but we have a really good core group of guys who all play for each other instead of just themselves. Our team has a swagger to us, actually. It's more like we have a lot of guys who have played and actually have the experience, so now going into these games they really feel like they can perform and at a high level.
Sophomore pitcher Ryan Juarez held Pepperdine to 7 hits and 2 runs in the first 6 innings. Freshman Billy Ott was brought in to preserve the victory, holding Pepperdine hitless over the last 3 innings. Pineda scored CSUN's 6th and final run in the bottom of the 7th. Head coach Stephen Rousey has been preparing his team to excel against tough opponents like Pepperdine.
But we played real well yesterday, and the ball just didn't bounce our way. And we came out and played well again today, and that's what we expect this group of guys to do.
With a narrow 4-3 loss at 8th-ranked Pepperdine yesterday and a solid victory at Matador Field this afternoon, the Matadors are beginning the season strong against the top-tier opponent. In Northridge, I'm Erica Gutierrez for Valley View News.
The Matadors lost to Pepperdine 3-2 on Sunday. The Matador baseball team is looking to improve on its tough start. Valley View News reporter Tamara Tartier has a preview of this year's season.
The sound of a baseball hitting an aluminum bat can only mean one thing. College baseball season has arrived. The CSUN baseball team is gearing up for the season. The Matadors finished last season tied for 7th in the Big West with an 8-16 conference record, 24-32 overall. This year they're predicted to finish 2nd to last in the Big West Conference according to the coaches poll. Coach Steve Rousey says the polls are what they are, polls.
Last year. We have the makeup of our ball club is completely different, as is everybody else's.
Senior pitcher P.J. Rousey says the team has high expectations for the season.
I expect a lot of great things from us. Coming through this program for 4 years prior to this, it's been ups and downs, but we've worked hard this year, and I think we have a good ball club, and we can get some things done.
Senior catcher John Parham says everything's there for them to be successful.
We feel like we have the potential, the players, the coaches to really go far this season.
The team is young, made up of mostly freshmen and sophomores, and only 4 seniors on the team. Coach Rousey says the theme for the season is, it's going to take all 35 players to win. From Northridge, I'm Tamara Tartier for Valley View News.
The CSUN's men's basketball team suffered its first loss in over a month. The Matadors were defeated by the UC Irvine Anteaters last Thursday and lost again Saturday against the Idaho Vandals. The Matadors are now 12-12 on the season and 8-4 in the Big West, putting them in a tie for first place with Long Beach State. Kobe Bryant moved up in the record books and helped the Lakers to a 111-108 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Luke Walton finding Kobe Bryant, who's going to be wide open for this slam dunk as you see it right here. With this basket, Bryant passed Elgin Baylor on the all-time NBA scoring list, moving into 20th place. Bryant would finish the game with 28 points and needs only 14 to pass Adrian Dantley for 19th place. Bryant will look to get those 14 points during the Lakers' next game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tiger Woods stole the headlines with news that he's coming back from knee surgery, but it was Phil Mickelson who stole the show at Riviera. Mickelson with a 4-stroke lead. As you can see him right here, will sink this par putt on the 18th as he won the tournament. But it was Tim Clark himself who made the shot of the day. Now take a look at this, folks. From 103 yards away, Clark takes his third shot on the par 5 17th hole and sinks it in. What an amazing shot. NHL superstars Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin went head-to-head as the Pittsburgh Penguins took on the Washington Capitals. The Capitals took an early 1-0 lead as Alexander Ovechkin would take this pass from Nicholas Backstrom and slapped it home for the score. And they would go on later to celebrate for the bucket. Later in the second period, Brooks Leach takes a shot off the boards and flips it past Penguins goalie Marc-Andre Fleury and seal the Capitals' 5-2 victory. It will be Ovechkin versus Crosby one more time this season as teams will face off again on Sunday, March the 8th. That's it for sports. Back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, DeJuan. The Amgen Tour of California takes world-class cyclists from Sacramento to Escondido in the week-long 8-stage race. Jeremiah McDaniel was at Stage 7, which raced from Santa Clarita to Pasadena.
Stage 7 of the Amgen Tour of California started off a little different than most bike races do. The people at the Live Strong Foundation provided the crowd with chalk and allowed them to write messages on the start line. Some were messages of hope, some of friends who lost their fight, while others were gratitude for not giving up. This simple gesture allowed the friends, family, and victims of cancer to connect with their unofficial leader, Lance Armstrong. Armstrong was one of many top-name riders to race in this year's event. Fans lined up for hours to catch a glimpse of their favorite racers.
We just wanted to come see everything. We like Lance, but bike racing's cool, so that was fun. She loves it, and we live right here.
Tom Zerbel, the top non-pro rider in the United States, was thankful for the good weather and the strong competition.
This is the best weather that the country's having right now, so I'm glad we're racing here and not Boulder where I live.
At the start of the race, Amgen Tour leader Levi Leipenheimer took the center spot with the yellow and blue jersey, with his teammate and crowd favorite Lance Armstrong to his far right in the black and yellow jersey. The pace was slow as they made their way out of the starting line, but that would soon change as the riders covered more than 10 miles of hilly terrain in just under 30 minutes. Following the convoy of police escorts, chase vehicles, and motorcycles, the riders raced their way through a sharp left, leaving behind Santa Clarita for the mountain roads of Acton. From this point, the racers will climb nearly 5,000 feet before making a very fast descent down Angeles Crest Highway into Pasadena. Should take the riders a little more than 2 hours to complete the last 40 miles of the event. They'll complete 5 5-mile laps around the Rose Bowl to finish out Stage 7 of the Amgen Tour of California. I'm Jeremiah McDaniel, reporting for Valley View News.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Mazen Hafez.
I'm Amanda Montgomery.
I'm Violet Armikanian.
And I'm DeJuan Hogard. Have a great night.